Okay, this is the kit in question. This is the SBR Fusion Rocketry L3 Fusion. L3, as you can see in the kit description, this is supposed to be a kit that's complete and everything you need to get your level 3 certification. That's supposedly what it's designed for. Just the description says rocket 5.5-inch rocket kit designed to get you through your level 3 certification successfully. Go down to the specs down here. You see diameter, you see length, you see motor mount. Go to recommended motors. You see J, K, K, L. Then you see an M1297, an M1315, M1350 DMS. You don't even see any mention of an M650 or what he's recommending now. This is a picture of the kit directions. So here we are, November of 2020. I've got a buddy that wanted to build this kit or was thinking about it, as well as I wanted to look at it and build it. Liked it from what I'd seen on the website, but I noticed it had disappeared from the website. So I sent a Facebook message to SBR Fusion Rocketry to inquire about when it might be coming back in stock. And this is the response I get. Hello, Jason. No, they are in stock. We just had a rash of people not following directions and having failures. So I'm selling them on request only at the moment until we can figure out how to get across to people to use enough epoxy and follow the instructions. Basically, people who weren't ready for level 3 anyway. So this is kind of the dismissive part. We're not even considering that there may be a design issue or anything like that. It's just that people ordering this kit, the implication is exactly what's said. They don't know how to follow directions. Don't know how to use epoxy. Well, I've never had that issue. I've been building big rockets since the early 2000s. I've leveled 3 twice, both times successfully, because I got out for a few years. So I'm figuring and assuming, I don't have any issue with how to use epoxy or to follow the directions. So it should be a good kit for me. So here we are, jump ahead to January 2021. I've ordered the kit, got it, started building on it. Conferring or talking to Scott about the build, showing him pictures. I'm going ridiculous on the build. Got fillets from the fins to the motor mount, fillets from the fins to the inside of the body tube, fillets from the fins to the exterior of the body tube. Centering rings are epoxied in, top and bottom, all the way around, et cetera, et cetera. Really overbuilding this kit because I'm wanting it to be a current and often flyer. And continuing on, of course, here you can see Scott's response. Absolutely beautiful, nice work, Jason, etc. And continuing, just looking for some other information, rocks and files and stuff, which Scott provides for me. Continuing to talk back and forth via Messenger about the build and how it's going. Everything's going great. Again, showing Scott more photos of the build. You can see the extreme overbuilding. This is 6-ounce glass, tip to tip. This thing is all done with air epoxy, which is not cheap stuff. It's not bad stuff. This is good epoxy. This is a skilled builder that's been doing this stuff for a long time without any problems, and everything's going just fine. Now you can see the dates on the instant messages. You can see the dates on the emails. This email goes, that last photo of an instant message has a couple of different dates, end of January, beginning of February. This is a January 29th email, so it's in the middle of that last instant message. And it's just I had a couple of questions for Scott, and as you can see, I ended up glassing after giving him these questions, and he responded to me. You can see we talk about the M1297, talk about 4 or 6-inch glass, and I ended up going with 6-inch glass. And here you can see Scott's response to my email, same date, 1/29/21. This is a 2-page response. I'm not going to read it all out loud to you. I'll put both pages up. You can pause it. You can read it all for yourself. But I'm going to look at the second paragraph here, talking about failures with M1297 and why he's going to include fiberglass from now on, because he thinks that's going to fix the failures. Many things I think that probably contributed to the customer failures: not enough epoxy used on fin roots, poor fit of parts, modifications of the design, etc. But to be safe, we added the fiberglass to the kits. You saw, or I described anyway, and you saw those little pictures. This thing is fiberglass. They're epoxy fillets, fin to motor tube, fin to inside a body tube, fin to exterior body tube. This is not somebody that doesn't know how to put enough epoxy on the fin roots like he's talking about there. The last paragraph on this page, he's talking about, I went the extra mile, really did my homework, praising the build and everything else, and how he's sure this kit can handle M motors. And continuing, this is still the same email response. This is the second page of it. You go down to the second paragraph, he's talking about what a great job I did on the build, did your homework, understand the overall level 3 process. I don't know if he thinks I'm trying to level 3 with this or what he's thinking. But he goes on to how it's proven as an M-capable design and bird, how he's flown it on M1419s and as a Nancy 1000 and as a Nancy 2000s. He's talking about in almost the last paragraph about soaking the entire interior of the rocket with West System epoxy. I don't necessarily think I believe in that, but I did it. It was part of his suggestions in the directions. So I used aero epoxy and inside of the couplers. I actually 6-ounce fiberglass the inside of the couplers as well as soaking them in epoxy to see if that would help or make any difference. So that was all done. Everything and anything possible that he describes in his directions has been done. Then my next response to him, same date, basically thanks for the details and all the information. I'm going to fiberglass it because I got plenty of cloth, and talk about some of the future plans for the rocket. Okay, so by this point you probably noticed I've had a lot of questions for Scott, a whole lot. I am an experienced flyer. I've designed my own stuff. I've flown I've got over 300 and some documented flights on rocketreviews.com. I have built well over 100 rockets. I've designed my own rockets. This kit is not the way I would design this kit. It's not the way I would build it. But it is a kit that's designed and supposed to do something. And that's how I try to learn things sometimes. So I took this and I built it per the directions. And having built it per the directions, however, about ready to go fly it, I'm starting to notice something that just doesn't look right. And I'm wondering if I've done something wrong. So I've asked him. I've looked through the directions. I looked at the video that he has online on how to build this kit, and I have a coupler that is 2 inches long. Typically, the general rule with rocketry, one body caliper for coupler length minimum. This is a 5.5 inch rocket, so that would mean the shortest a coupler should be is 5.5 inches. I have a 2 inch coupler. So I sent him an email and asked about that. The other thing I talk about is how I build it. It's been built per the directions. All the tubes are epoxy coated on the inside. All the couplers have been fiberglass with 6-ounce glass on the inside. All the fins are tip-to-tip glass. The body, the entire thing is double walled with couplers. Each fin has 6 giant fillets each. I mean, this thing is a beast. What's your opinion, Scott? M1297 or M650? If you're going to warn somebody that the M1297 might not be the rocket for this kit, you know, even though the directions say it is, and they're a week out from flying and they ask your opinion, let's see what his response is. So there was the question. Which motor, what's your opinion, Scott? You're the designer of this kit. You know about all the experiences with this kit. What do you think? You've seen how I built it. I've documented it for you, shown you pictures, everything else. You know what kind of epoxy I'm using, good stuff. What do you think? What motor should we use? This is the guy who is now all over the internet telling people that he warned me not to fly the kit with an M1297. And here's his response, 3/22/21. The M1297 or the M650, and I think either way you'll be fine. You did the build correctly, blah, blah, blah. Remember, I had a concern in the last email, 2 inch coupler. To answer your question, if I understand you correct, yes, the coupler extends from the payload section about 2 inches. He has designed this to have a coupler of 2 inches in length. So I went to Argonia Cup, flew the rocket. Stuck an M1297 in it. Argonio Cup was going on. College students and stuff were down there. So I ended up flying it on this flight from the away cell. So I didn't get a very good view of it and very good video of it. But it went up, came apart, lost everything in the top half, could not find the payload bay, could not find the parachute, the Kevlar recovery harnesses and Kevlar blankets. That $100, $150 worth of materials was gone. Got lucky and did get the booster back. The GPS tracker and both altimeters, so I got lucky there. Had some discussions with Scott, but like I said, I just did not have that good a view or that good a video to really be sure what was going on with it. I just knew that the tank booster section wasn't an issue. So just decided to move on from there. Then a month and a half or so later, I'm at Mini Midwest Power. Another buddy's got the same rocket. He's flown it on an M650, which is one of the flights that Scott uses to say that it'll handle M's. He decides to put it up on an M1297, and it's at the M pads, but they're not near as far away as Argonia Cup's away cells. And we fly it, or he flies it, watch it go up, it just comes apart, folds right over. I'm close to it, get good video, you can see it, he gets all the parts back, you can tell what happened, it's just come apart. And it's coming apart at the 2-inch coupler. Have discussions with other people, experienced flyers, both in person and online, and everybody's saying the same thing, yeah, 2-inch coupler, though, not good. There's RSOs saying they would not allow it to fly if they knew it had a 2-inch coupler and was flying on with something with any kick in it. I mean, that's an issue there. And those discussions, I mean, you can search for it. Those discussions have been had on TRF. So you can look for them if you want to. I'm doing enough here. I'm not going to go dig those up. So now, having the second rocket do the same thing, now I'm a little bit upset. And that leads us into this email. So I send Scott an email and tell him I'm a little bit upset. I bought a product that was supposed to do this if it was built this way. I built it exactly the way he said to do it, and made it even beefed it up more, all with his okay, all with his understanding. He didn't say that was not to do that or that was going to cause an issue. Got his recommendation on motors. He did not warn me about a motor, as you saw in the last email. Said you'll be good. You should be good to go either way. We know things can always happen sometimes, but this is a consistent repeating failure of this rocket. It has happened more than once. And so I sent him this email. Hey, this is what happens. This is what's going on. And I paid $400 for this. And this email basically illustrates all of what I just told you. 2 parts, a first page and a second page. I'll put them both up. So here we go. This is Scott's response. Here's the email. Notice the date, 5/31/21. This is the email that Scott using to tell everybody that he warned me not to fly the M1297. Right here in the second paragraph, your build looked good. I'm aware you're a skilled builder. I attempted to warn you that there were possible issues with the M1297. Let's take a look at that warning again. And here's the warning. This is the response when I asked him about flying an M1297 or an M650 in this kit. Notice the date, 3/22/21, just before I flew the rocket, not 2 months later. And it says, seems to be a great debate, M1297 or M650, and I think either way, you'll be fine. Sounds like the build you did correctly, etc. And yep, at the bottom, last paragraph, 2-inch coupler is normal. That's good stuff. That's the warning. That doesn't sound like a warning to not fly an M1297 to me. And now back to Scott's response from when I asked him for a refund on the kit because I did not feel that I got what was advertised in any way, shape, or form. He doesn't want to do that. He's got his reasoning why. He details it there. That's his opinion. My opinion's my opinion. You go down to the next to last paragraph, however, and you will see that he discontinued the kit, or claims he is going to discontinue the kit. And on the next page, he talks about some other things he would rather do than a refund, which is other kits or another 5.5-inch Fusion. So this is my response to Scott's offer. I pretty much figured out there's no chance I'm going to get my money back. So I'm just trying to recoup the best I can. I do think there's a way to modify it and make it work better. So I asked him about parts to do so. But after I sent him this email, I never got another response out of him. He just shipped another kit to me and never said another word. Thought about selling it, but in my opinion, yeah, I just didn't want to do that to somebody else. So I kept it, built it, and just use it. And planning on just using it for K&L flights because I think that's the way it's designed. That's going to be the best bet. And even though you saw in one of the previous emails, he said he was going to discontinue the kit. Here it is, today's date, 2/18/2023. You can see at the bottom right of the picture. It's up on the site for sale again. And I have no idea if it's been redesigned to not have a 2-inch coupler like you see here in this picture. This is the kit that was sent to me and how it was designed to be built and flown. And there you go. Now you have the uncherry-picked version. All the communications that I have that took place between myself and Scott. And regardless of him saying on TRF that I was warned not to fly an M1297, as you can see, that's just not true. That's all I've got.